Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Global Beastmaster. My battle pet is twice as much as others. 31. Chapter 31. More than 100. Su-bai said casually, feeling a little strange. The problems of these people are really similar. Sister Lee had quick eyes and quick hands, and took advantage of Yunan's unpreparedness. She grabbed the backpack and pulled it away, and was immediately startled by the full spar. Although she is already a top silver Beastmaster, she also came from the Black Iron class, so she naturally knows how difficult the battle is for a Black Iron class Beastmaster. Most Black Iron level beasts are in a state of high defense and low attack. Their bodies have been baptized with spiritual energy, and their strength has been greatly improved, but their attack methods have not changed much. The battle pet inherits the characteristics of the fierce beast, and it is the same. Even if it has the skills of the battle pet, its power is limited. Anyway, her Fengya wolf had to spend a lot of effort to kill the beasts of the same level. In Sister Lee's memory, when she was at the Black Iron level, she killed at most 20 beasts a day, and almost exhausted the wind-toothed wolf to death. But how long has it been since Su-bai left the camp? Maybe 4 hours at most. As a result, so many crystals were brought back. What kind of terrifying efficiency is this? Brother Su, your Sky Steel Crow, don't you need to consume stamina when you release the wind blade? Sister Lee asked with difficulty. It should be necessary, but the Sky Steel Crow has good physical strength. Su-bai found that his performance seemed to be a bit too much beyond the average person, so he secretly decided that he could only take out a part of the spar. Okay, my vacant battle pet slot is reserved for Tiangongkro. Sister Lee said firmly, when I get all the contribution points, I will exchange them for Tiangongkro cubs. Su-bai asked, contribution points? What is that? This is a point used by the Federal Wild Hunting Group, and it functions like a federal currency. Yunnan explained, like Beast Spar, it can be converted into contribution points, and there is a fixed conversion ratio. The Black Iron high-level spar can be exchanged for 5 contribution points, and the Black Iron top-level spar can be exchanged for 8 points. Contribution points can be exchanged for various supplies. If the federal warehouse does not have them, you can also issue a commission to let other senior Beastmasters help you find them. Chapter 23 Gold Flame Turtle. After Yunan's explanation, Su-bai understood the role of contribution points. Simply put, it is very valuable. After all, the top Black Iron spar worth 8 federal coins can only be exchanged for contribution points, so the value goes without saying. Moreover, contribution points can be exchanged for federal currency at any time, but contribution points cannot be exchanged for federal currency. It can be said that it is a currency that is only circulated among senior Beastmasters. Boy Su, do you want to exchange all of them for contribution points? Yunnan asked with a nervous expression, as if he was afraid that Su-bai would say no. I have this plan, Su-bai said. Originally, I planned to sell it directly. Since it can be exchanged for contribution points, it would be great. Su-bai also realized the importance of contribution points. Some top materials can only be purchased with contribution points. Anyway, for him, it is very easy to make money. Go out and kill some beasts, and you can get a lot of crystals casually. If I want to ask a gold-level Beastmaster to help, how many contribution points do I need? Su-bai asked. The price is variable, depending on the difficulty of the task, but the minimum contribution point is. Yunnan is familiar with these things, and said casually, there is no upper limit. Although Su-bai was mentally prepared, he was still shocked by the price. 400 contribution points, equivalent to million federal currency. As expected of the elite class, one shot can earn money that ordinary people can't earn in a lifetime. Such an exaggeration. Su-bai was speechless again and again. It's okay. When you reach the gold level, you'll know that it's nothing. Yunnan said with a smile. In words, it has been confirmed that Su-bai can become a gold-level Beastmaster. Su-bai's heart was ignited with raging fighting spirit. This world is really huge, and I have to catch up to see all the scenery in this world. Okay, let's go to Zhongmeodian. Yunnan took Su-bai's hand and went straight to the military supply department. Zhongmeodian is a man in his 30s, wearing gold-rimmed glasses, very gentle. This is something different in the number 13 hunting group. Su-bai couldn't help but take a second look. Why, you also feel the oppression? Yunnan said. Military officer Zhang is a gold junior Beastmaster. Gold level. Su-bai was startled. The gentleman in front of him turned out to be a gold-rank man. Seeing the legendary elite class for the first time, Su-bai was very curious and wanted to see the battle pets, but he didn't know how to speak. Zhang Maodian seemed to see Su-bai's thoughts, and said with a smile, "Flame turtle, come out." A giant tortoise with a carapace over 20 meters in diameter appeared in the open space like a hill. The shell of the flame turtle is red and black, and there seems to be lava flowing on the shell of the turtle. As soon as this big guy appeared, the surrounding air began to heat up sharply. Not long after, Yi Bai was sweating profusely. Su-bai understood why the camp was built so big, and the living rooms of the regiment members were all on the edge, and there was no building in the middle of the camp. With this size, no matter how big the house is, it will be overwhelmed. The data appears before your eyes. Open black lens bracket, name close black lens bracket, flame turtle. Current level, gold lower level. Talent 1. Son of Flame, epic 2. Tenacity, rare 3. Immortal blood, legendary. He has a legendary talent. There is also an epic talent. There are also tons of abilities, mostly a mix of rare and epic. Incomparably powerful. Global Beastmaster. My battle pet is twice as much as others. Chapter 32. Seeing Su-bai's shocked expression, Zhang Maodian had long been accustomed to it, put away the flame tortoise, and said, "I heard that your battle pet is the sky steel crow. If you cultivate it carefully, you will definitely surpass me in future achievements." Su-bai thought he was very strong at first, but after seeing powerful pets one after another in this camp, he couldn't help but suppress his pride and impetuousness. In this world, there are many geniuses. Although you have a system, you must remain humble and work hard to improve yourself. Sensing the change in Su-bai's state of mind, Zhang Maodian showed admiration and said, "Young man, I see the qualities that a strong man should have in you." Humble. Su-bai said respectfully, "Thank you." "Okay, stop being polite." Yu Nanjiao said loudly, "Old Zhang, hurry up and contribute points to Su Shaoxi's settlement." Zhang Maodian's eyes lit up, he rubbed his hands, and said happily, "Great, finally a business came to our door." Then he looked at Yunnan with some complaints, and continued, "You have been slacking off a lot recently, except for the spar that must be handed over, it has been a long time since you have no balance." Yunnan coughed in embarrassment, and quickly changed the subject, "I'll be there in 2 days. Don't talk about me, let's take a look at these first." After finishing speaking, Yunnan took out the backpack as if offering a treasure, and put it on the table. Black iron spar is not attractive to a golden beast master like Zhang Maodian, but he knows Yunnan's temperament. This guy is so showy, he must have something to say. Sure enough, Yunnan immediately opened his mouth and asked triumphantly, "Old Zhang, how long do you think these crystals have been collected?" 2 days. Zhang Maodian gave his answer. Yunnan was even more proud. If there was a tail behind him, he would probably fly up to the sky. "Stand firm, I'm afraid I'll scare you if I say it." Yunnan paused for a moment, and saw the expectant expression on Zhang Maodian's face, and then continued, "A long time, about 4 hours to be precise. Also, these are the beast crystals of the crystal crocodile." Phew, Zhang Maodian stood up immediately. "Don't you need to consume stamina to release the skill of Sky Steel Crow?" Zhang Maodian asked a classic question. Su-bai had no choice but to repeat his previous answer, "My Sky Steel Crow has better physical strength." For this kind of answer, Zhang Maodian definitely didn't believe it, but the skills of the battle pet were the secret of the Beastmaster, so he didn't ask. "I heard that you just graduated from high school. You are really a formidable young man." Zhang Maodian smiled wryly, "Fortunately, I was born 20 years earlier than you, and I was born in the same era as you. I don't know whether it is luck or misfortune." After all, Zhang Maodian fell silent, as if silently mourning for the other students in his heart. Yunnan's complacent look is hard to see now. The better Su-bai's performance, the more it proves that she has a good vision. At the beginning, she was the one who insisted on sending Su-bai to the third team. For this reason, she even set off overnight, and under coercion and temptation, she finally got this slippery guy into her pocket. After counting, there are a total of 26 black iron top-level crystals, and there are 47 black iron high-level crystals left, with a total of 443 contribution points. Awesome, I was already at the top level of bronze when I joined the group, and I may not be able to get so many contribution points in a day. Zhang Maodian sighed again, handed a spar card to Su Bai, and said, no matter which hunting group you are in, as long as you find the quartermaster, you can use the contribution points inside. Thank you. Su Bai put away the spar card, and then felt his neck tighten. Yunnan hooked Su Bai's neck and said with a malicious smile, Boy Su, you've made a fortune, please invite sister to drink. Chapter 24 The Legend of Dionysus. A little half of the contribution points that I just got were gone in a blink of an eye. In return, a lot of spirits. Su Bai smelled it, at least 50 degrees. Unlike Blue Star, wine is a standard commodity in short supply in the Federation. Anyway, Su Bai has never seen Su Zhongong drink since he can remember. Boy Su, you are really too generous. Yunnan laughed loudly and said, I was just bluffing you, but I didn't expect you to change. Ha ha ha, I won't go home if I'm not drunk tonight. Su Bai didn't feel distressed about this. In his opinion, contribution points are the same as federal currency, they are all money, and they are used to spend. And Yunnan really took good care of him, so this is also a little thank you gift from him. Lao Zhang, let's go for a drink together. Yu Nangsing pulled Zhang Maodian away with his head full. With a wry smile on his face, Zhang Maodian could only follow Yunnan and leave the office of the military supply department. However, his work content is very leisurely, so it's okay to be lazy. Most importantly, with his strength as a gold-ranked Beastmaster, how could others dare to have the slightest opinion? Along the way, Yunnan continued to greet the members of the regiment, and at the end all the members of the regiment who stayed in the camp had arrived. Probably out of self-confidence, most people didn't summon battle pets, which made it impossible for Su Bai to know their specific strength, but it was certain. The 25 people present are all silver level and above. Except for his black iron level. Such a force can be said to be a powerful mess. Therefore, they successfully booked out a 3-story restaurant. The lobby manager didn't say a single word of nonsense, and asked people to clear the venue. The customers who were cleared did not dare to say anything and left directly. Just kidding, with such a group of fierce people, do you think you didn't die fast enough when you got into an argument with them? After some excuses, Su Bai was put on the throne. According to Yunnan, Su Bai kindly sponsored all the drinks for this party, so he had to take the lead. Others nodded in agreement, and at the same time implicitly expressed the hope that such gatherings could be held several times more. Su Bai had no choice but to accept that this group of people is not only strong, but also thick-skinned. Looking at Zhang Maodian sitting on the left, and then at Yunnan on the right. Su Bai, who was caught in the middle, only felt a lot of pressure. He's just a little black iron ranked Beastmaster, why is he talking and laughing with a group of silver and gold ranked Beastmasters? Life is amazing. The hunting group has been fighting fierce beasts all year round, and they don't care about trivial matters at all. Global Beastmaster. My battle pet is twice as much as others. 33. Chapter 33. The food has not been served yet, and the wine is already full. Looking at a glass full of spirits with at least 6 tails in front of him, Su Bai's face turned green. He is still a minor. Come on, let's drink to the new member Su Bai. Yunnan stood up and said loudly. Cheers. Everyone drank it all in one gulp. Su Bai had no choice but to follow suit. In this atmosphere, if he dared to say no, the restaurant would be bombed. Ding, a high concentration energy liquid has been detected and has been absorbed. After drinking strong alcohol, before Su Bai had time to feel what it tasted like, the system's notification sounded. What? Energy liquid. Su Bai looked at the empty glass in his hand in a daze. No wonder this thing is so expensive, it must be exchanged with contribution points. It turns out that it contains a high concentration of energy. In other words, for the Beastmaster, this can not only relieve mental stress, but also a means to improve strength. Good stuff. Su Bai licked his lips. The system not only absorbed the energy in the spirits, but also decomposed the alcohol for him, so now he doesn't feel anything at all, as if he drank a glass of plain water. Damn it, doesn't it mean that I will never get drunk again? Su Bai was a little speechless. After drinking strong alcohol, the atmosphere became more lively. Especially when Su Bai drank a glass of spirits in one gulp without changing his expression, everyone immediately cheered. Su Bai had an illusion that these people looked at him more kindly. Come on, let's do it again. Zhang Maodian stood up and said excitedly, our regiment has another strong general, and we will be able to clear up this hunting ground soon. Yes, cheers. Everyone happily raised their glasses and drank together. Su Bai didn't show any weakness, and even turned the bottom of the cup down, indicating that he had finished drinking. This move made everyone's eyes brighten, and they started to learn one after another. Ding, a high concentration energy liquid has been detected and has been absorbed. Hearing the notification sound again, Su Bai smiled maliciously. Sorry, everyone, get ready to lie down under the table. I don't know if it's a custom or what. The members of the group stood up to speak one after another, one by one, and then directly toasted. By the time the first dish was served, 3 members of the group had already passed out. Vegetable chicken. Sister Lee was very contemptuous, looking at Su Bai with beautiful eyes. Brother Su, you are really amazing. Although every time the spirits are consumed, they will be directly decomposed by the system, but the spirits in the mouth cannot be absorbed. After drinking more than 10 cups of spirits in a row, Su Bai was still a little drunk, so he couldn't help being bold. Hearing Sister Lee's words, he laughed loudly and said, if you're not serious, what you say doesn't count. Let Sister Lee see it next time. Shang Xingbang gave a thumbs up and praised, young hero, good boy, we have to go if you say this to you. Cheers. Another glass full of spirits. 2 fell down on the spot. Yunnan was originally a lively person, but now he is even more jumpy, pulling Su Bai to toast again and again, almost knocking Su Bai to the ground. By the way, Sister Yu, I have a question. Taking advantage of the gap after drinking a cup, Su Bai asked the doubts in his heart, why did you accept me so quickly? Yunnan waved his hand casually, and said with some slurred words, the regiment leader said, you will become our comrade in arms. So you are our comrade in arms. Why are you talking so much among comrades in arms? Drink up. Su Bai didn't know whether to laugh or cry, so he could only have another drink. But the doubts in his heart have not been answered. What is the origin of this regiment leader? You must know that the members of the number 13 hunting group are at least silver-level senior Beastmasters, and they are big shots wherever they go. But because of the leader's words, he trusted himself so much. What a powerful commanding force it is to convince the members of the group below. Involuntarily, Su Bai became very interested in this regimental leader whom he had never met before. Fortunately, he is already a member of the number 13 hunting group, and sooner or later he will meet this group leader who is only known by name. This wine was drunk from the evening until the next morning. Even with the systematic decomposition ability, Su Bai was half drunk. But by this time, he was the only one still standing. Thus, the name of Dionysus began to circulate in the camp. Everyone knows that number 13 wild hunting team has a ruthless man who never gets drunk. It's a pity that no outsiders attended that reception, so others didn't know the details. Ask about it, but never get an answer. Because the members of the number 13 hunting group spoke surprisingly unanimously, they all refused to answer. They can't afford to lose this man. Global Beastmaster. My battle pet is twice as much as others. 34. Chapter 34. There are more than high-level Beastmasters, and there are even gold-level Beastmasters, but they have never drunk a high school student who just graduated. If other wild hunting groups know about it, how can they mess around? You can't say it even if you kill him. Chapter 25. What about the crystal crocodile here? The next afternoon, when Su Bai appeared at the number 13 wild hunting group camp, everyone shivered subconsciously when they saw him. I have to admit that senior Beastmasters are different. At least this speed of sobering up is definitely beyond the reach of ordinary people. He was drunk a few hours ago, and now he is refreshed in every way. Boy Su. Yunnan's voice was a little lazy. He came out of the residence, looked at Su Bai and asked, are you going out in this dress? Su Bai nodded, and said, I'm going to go to the Shijing crocodile again, resting for half a day is enough. You really don't stop for a moment. Yunnan said angrily, you have to combine work and rest. I think you are too comfortable. Zhang Maodian walked over, grabbed Yunnan's shoulder, and said, go and hunt the beast with me. Yunnan's face turned pale, and he said in a trembling tone, Military Officer Zhang Da, please spare me, old man. You always go to places where gold-level beasts haunt. I'm just a little silver-level intermediate, and I'm just a child. Don't talk nonsense, let's go. Unmoved, Zhang Maodian dragged Yunnan away. Seeing Yunnan, who was constantly struggling but to no avail, Su Bai couldn't help feeling a little gloating. Hee, you were the one who fed me the hardest yesterday. When the two walked away, Su Bai also left the camp. It was rare to find an excellent place to upgrade. He had to hurry up and clean up the group of crystal crocodiles. Coming to the familiar river, Su Bai hid in a corner and watched for a while. Still no one in sight. In fact, it is also understandable that most Beastmasters at the Black Iron level will not leave the city easily. They would rather go to the hunting grounds that have already been opened, and do not want to take huge risks to open up hunting grounds. In the camp next to the station, basically all bronze-level Beastmasters started. With the second battle pet, the Beastmaster's life-saving ability has been greatly improved, and this is the time for them to show their skills outside the city. Speaking of which, I haven't tried projection yet, Su Bai secretly said, although theoretically, a bronze-level Beastmaster is required to project, but that's because only a bronze-level Beastmaster has a second battle pet. I already have a second battle pet. Yes, it should be fine. Projecting Phantom Butterfly, Su Bai said silently in his heart. A miraculous thing happened. The Phantom Butterfly body in the battle pet space became unreal, and at the same time, an unspeakable power appeared in Su Bai's body. Although he has no experience, Su Bai can be sure that his projection was successful. Phantom Dust. Now that the projection is successful, you must try the Phantom Butterfly's signature, Phantom Dust. This is also Su Bai's life-saving method in the future, and must be fully grasped. The scene in front of him became blurred, but Su Bai quickly got used to it. Ding, turn on the Phantom Dust, the duration is 5 minutes, and the cooling time is hours. The system prompt sounded, explaining the detailed data of Phantom Dust. Su Bai tried to take 2 steps, even if he stepped on flowers and plants, there was no change. No wonder it can escape detection. Su Bai secretly said, this is not only a stealth skill, it also seems to have a certain space attribute. If it's just stealth, then there will still be traces when walking around. Now, once the Phantom Dust is released, he can act boldly without worrying about revealing his whereabouts. It is indeed an ultra-rare beast, no wonder the Beastmaster has been around for 200 years, and there are only a few Beastmasters who can successfully contract the Phantom Butterfly. This skill is too heaven-defying. After waiting quietly for 5 minutes, Su Bai's figure appeared out of thin air, and immediately stepped on the grass under his feet to make 2 marks. At the same time, the Phantom Butterfly body in the battle pet space became solid again, but the spirit was a little sluggish. Obviously this skill consumes a lot, and the 12-hour cooling time is reasonable. After the experiment, Su Bai summoned the Sky Steel Crow and started today's upgrade journey. After hundreds of their partners died tragically, the stone crystal crocodiles finally realized that the bird came again yesterday. The old rules, withdraw. Seeing the stone crystal crocodile hide at the bottom of the river, although Su Bai was a little bit unsatisfied, he had no choice but to give up. After recovering the spar, he casually threw over a dozen pieces to the Tiangong Crow as snacks, and comforted him for a while, before taking the Tiangong Crow back to the battle pet space. After an afternoon of killing, the experience value of the Sky Steel Crow reached 6,530.25 very quickly. Judging from this progress, it will take another 3 days to upgrade. Fortunately, there are enough stone crystal crocodiles here, barely able to support him to upgrade. At this time, Su Bai began to think about a problem. If he upgrades again, he will be a bronze-level Beastmaster, and he can contract a new battle pet, but so far, he has no good plan. First of all, he didn't have enough contribution points to exchange for the eggs of high-level beasts from the Federation. Secondly, he was a little confused and didn't know how to choose a new pet. Hey, what am I worried about here? Su Bai patted his head. There are so many senior Beastmasters in the camp, just ask them if they are okay. Zhang Maodian's flame turtle is very strong. I don't know where it came from. If I can get one, it would be great. The flame turtle left a deep impression on Su Bai. It is too strong, it is definitely the best. Back at the camp, Zhang Maodian and Yunnan hadn't come back yet. Su Bai's crystals could not be exchanged for contribution points for the time being, so they had to be placed in the room first. But this is the base of the number 13 hunting group, so there is no need to worry about the little people coming to steal things. Just kidding, if you come here to steal things, once you get caught, the end will be very miserable. Even the king of thieves dare not come here to be presumptuous. The camp was somewhat deserted. Most of the group members had gone out, only a few group members who hadn't completely sobered up. Subai didn't know them very well, and didn't intend to go over to chat. Global Beastmaster. My battle pet is twice as much as others. 35. Chapter 35. After simply eating something, Subai decisively took a shower and went to bed. I kept thinking about what to do after the upgrade. The next day, Zhang Maodian and Yunnan hadn't come back yet, but Sister Li was there. Subai couldn't resist this big sister who drove the car carelessly. At the same time, I also learned that it took Zhang Maodian 3 or 4 days to come back every time he went out. Subai calculated that he and Yunnan would be back around the time he was leveling up, and it was time to ask how to choose a new battle pet. For 3 days in a row, Subai's actions were very regular. Hunting and killing stone crystal crocodiles during the day, coming back to sleep at night, and occasionally drinking with Shang Xingbang, but with the ability to decompose systematically, he is left alone until dawn every time. After doing this twice, Shang Xingbang never asked Subai to drink again. This young man is simply perverted. Drinking is like drinking water. Shang Xingbang drank the spirits he saved before, and he drank it in 2 days, tears streaming down his heart. Subai was a little embarrassed, so he had no choice but to wait for Zhang Maodian to come back and exchange some wine to replenish him, which made this rough man stop crying. Time passed without any surprise. The stone crystal crocodiles by the river are decreasing at a speed visible to the naked eye. Ding, the experience value is full. Do you want to upgrade the level? Subai didn't upgrade directly, but put away the sky steel crow and walked towards the camp. Not long after he left, a team of Beastmasters appeared nearby. Old Wang, you said there are many crystal crocodiles here. That's right, I've been here a few times before, and there were too many of them, and I couldn't handle them by myself, so I specially called my brothers over. Okay, boy, remember to call us next time you have a chance to make a fortune. No problem. ... Old Wang, what about the group of stone crystal crocodiles you mentioned? Old Wang was dumbfounded. There is nothing around the stream in front of you except for the scattered corpses of stone crystal crocodiles. Chapter 26 is upgraded again, right? Back at the camp, Yunnan hadn't come back yet, but according to the time, it should be soon. Subai didn't care either, and returned to his residence. His mind entered the battle pet space. After many hardships, he is finally going to break through the black iron level and officially enter the bronze level. Upgrade. Ding, the level of the sky steel crow has been raised, and the current level is lower than bronze, and it has gained 1 evolution point. Ding, the phantom butterfly's level synchronization has been completed, and the current level is lower than bronze, and it has obtained 1 evolution point. After entering the bronze level, the sky steel crow's body swelled up again. If it fully stretched its body now, its wingspan would be about 13 meters, which is very exaggerated. You must know that a family car is only about 5 meters long, and the sky steel crow has a wingspan of 13 meters, which is already comparable to the large trucks of Blue Star. For such a big guy, just taking a closer look can make people feel scared. The upgrade logically gained evolutionary points, so Subai resolutely devoted himself to the sky steel crow. Ding, the evolution is complete. The bloodline of the Fengali Warhawk has been strengthened, and the current progress is 50%. Ding, the bloodline activation reaches 50%, and you will get a random Wind and Thunder War Eagle talent, the incarnation of Thunder and Lightning legendary. Subai's face showed ecstasy. Sure enough, when the evolution rate reaches 50.00%, he will get some natural abilities in advance. And this time the explosion of luck turned out to be a legendary talent. Just when he was about to continue investing in evolution points, an accident happened. Ding, the current battle pet level is too low to continue to evolve. Subai was stunned. Level is too low. Can't evolve. Does it take bronze intermediate level to continue to evolve? Subai secretly thought, carefully recalling the relevant information of Fengali Zanying in his mind. After a long time, Subai's expression changed, and he thought of a record that was difficult to distinguish between true and false. It is said that Fengali Zanying can enter the silver level a few days after its birth. Is it because of this that the bronze level Sky Steel Crow cannot continue to strengthen the blood? According to the previous situation, when the bloodline activation reaches %, the battle pet will completely evolve into another species. If that record is true, then the bronze level Fengli fighting eagle obviously doesn't fit the real world. It should be like this, otherwise it doesn't make sense at all. Su Bai secretly said, "That's fine, if it evolves into a wind and thunder fighting eagle at the bronze level, it will be too eye-catching and will definitely arouse others' suspicion. In case I was caught and sliced for research, with my bronze level strength, I would definitely not be able to withstand the high-level Beastmaster. Even if I'm a member of the number 13 Wild Hunter group, I can't stop some big shots." Even though he said so, Su Bai still felt a little regretful. He really wanted to see Fengli's Onying. Forget it, let's do this first, save the extra evolutionary points first. Su Bai thought secretly, and turned to check the attributes of the Sky Steel Crow. Name, Sky Steel Crow. Current level, bronze lower level. Current experience, 0.60,000. Talent, 1. Speed, epic, 2. Sharp eyes, common, 3. Wind control, rare, 4. Lightning incarnation, legendary. Skills, 1. Iron feather, common, 2. Wind blade, rare, 3. Steel bone, rare, 4. Lightning bolt, rare. Blood awakening, wind and thunder eagle, 50%. Please like and subscribe.